The teaching method I have is to follow really 4 simple questions, so that can work whenever you confront or connect with a work of art or indeed another person. It's really about being face to face with something. Any work of art, when you come to it, you stand in front of it and you confront it as if it's another person, right? A work of art is in fact like another person, and depending on your size and where you are, something starts to happen. You really answer 4 questions. What am I looking at? How did it get here? How was it made? And then, when was it made? In what kind of context? What sort of world was it made in? And then, what's it saying? What is its meaning? The first step is to observe what's in front of you and share your observations with other people who you're also looking at, and then you'll know more, you'll see more, in a literal sense. And then when you ask, how was it done? The question is to have an imaginative recreation of the work. You try and bring the student to imagine actually doing this. It then becomes more a matter of not just direct experience, one person to an object, but it becomes, how could have I made that object myself? That breaks down a huge barrier already. And then you ask the big question, when? When was it made? Obviously, everything that was made before 2 minutes ago has a history, and the history accumulates as it goes back. So when you ask when, you bring people back to that kind of period. You ask them to compare, in effect, this work with other works from that period. So you start to see differences, compare and contrast. So that's a huge technique. Our exams that I do are really about compare and contrast 2 works of art from different periods or even the same period. Let's develop the point about silkscreen. How do you think he made it? What's the technique that you're looking at here? Critical thinking is really about independent thinking, right? It's not negative thinking, it's about independent thinking. It's about you getting to a point where you say, okay, I know enough about what, how and when to be able to start to think, well, maybe this is why he or she did it. Maybe this is why they did it. And then you realize they did it because they had to do it. But all those other forces, as it were, made them do it. It's not just that the artist did it out of some mad impulse. The what is about the things in the world that demanded that the artist work with them. The how is the limits of technique and the possibilities of technique. The when is about how all our historical and social circumstances really oblige us to behave in the way we do. And the why is where we recover our independence and individuality. So this is us in all these huge contexts. We are saying something unique and something different. We give people the techniques that they can get to that point to make up their own minds about who they are in the world, so they can recognize what it is that they're in front of. They can come up to unfamiliar things, totally different things. They can walk into the Warhol Museum where they've never been before. They can go in there and say, it's cool, I've got a technique, I can walk through this building, I can learn, and I can keep coming back. And the independence that you get from the experience of art has an extra dimension to it. It goes beyond the technical, it goes beyond the rational, it goes beyond the accountable, it goes into the imaginative, sometimes the irrational, it goes into the open imagination.